Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here because today we're going to look at education from a completely different angle. Think about it. Instead of viewing your learning as this rigid, boring set of chores, what if we approached it like a grand, customized exploration? We're going to dive into an incredible framework that's designed to help you construct a personalized learning plan. It's really all about treating your education like an adventure, where you are the architect of your own success.
But, before we start building anything, I really want to ask you a question. Do you actually know how you learn best? Just think about your own habits for a second. When you hit a roadblock in your studies, like when a concept just isn't making any sense, what usually happens? Do you just keep rereading the exact same page over and over, hoping it's going to magically click this time? The truth is, if you don't know exactly what tools to reach for when the terrain gets tough, you can end up completely stuck.
And that right there perfectly illustrates why we need a super blueprint. What is that? Well, it's a customized framework of cognitive tools designed to accelerate your learning and foster deliberate practice. Think of this blueprint as your own secret map to accelerated learning. It takes the fun of personal discovery and bridges it with serious educational science. This whole framework is about finding the absolute best, most efficient ways for you to move forward with your content, so you never stay stuck and you're always building directly on your own unique strengths.
So, here is the literal blueprint for our explainer today. We're going to unpack 6 specific tools. First, finding the 20% core. Second, building mental model maps. Third, the Feynman checkup. Fourth, the feedback and iteration log. Fifth, just-in-time teacher support. And finally, your learning adventure. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Finding the 20% core, also known as the Pareto analysis strategy.
I want you to think of your learning journey like a giant treasure hunt. Finding the core information is how you locate the absolute biggest treasure on your map without getting totally lost in the weeds. The data from our source framework shows us that identifying this core is the real key to accelerated learning. You have to ask yourself, what are the biggest ideas here? What are the few super important things I absolutely must learn to understand everything else? When you pinpoint this 20%, it actually unlocks the vast majority of your overall understanding. It gives you the foundation you need to easily digest the remaining 80% of supporting details.
Now, I have to emphasize this. The goal here is depth of understanding, not just rushing through the material. Finding your 20% core isn't some quick hack to skip doing the hard work. It's really about grasping the big, foundational ideas deeply, rather than just passively consuming every single minor detail and then forgetting it all by the next morning. It ensures you stay right on track for your grade level because you're anchoring your focus where it actually matters most.
All right, moving to Section 2, building mental model maps, creating bridges in your brain.
So once you have your core information, you obviously need a place to put it. On one hand, you have isolated facts learned through rote memorization. But those are incredibly fragile, right? If you forget just one step, the whole thing crumbles. On the other hand, we have connected knowledge. The framework asks a great question. How do you connect new ideas to things you already know? You've got to find your real-world anchors. The source material uses this brilliant analogy. It's like understanding how a load-bearing wall works in architecture. When you link a brand new concept to an anchor you already understand, you build an incredibly strong, organized structure of knowledge. It's exactly how an expert learns.
Section 3. The Feynman checkup, where learning is creation, not consumption.
Now this checkup is the ultimate test to see if your mental models are actually holding any weight. The framework uses a mix of the Draw to Learn challenge and the Feynman simulation, and it maps it out in 3 easy steps. Step 1, learn the concept. Step 2 is where the magic really happens, explain it simply. And the source actually suggests explaining it so simply that even your favorite stuffed animal would understand. I know, it sounds a little silly, but it's highly effective. Why? Because step 3 is to find the gaps. Wherever you stumble or wherever you start using confusing jargon to hide the fact that you're confused, well, that is exactly where your learning gap lies. It tells you precisely what you need to go back and review.
The whole philosophy just boils down to this one simple truth. When you explain something simply or draw it out, you truly understand it. Taking an abstract idea out of your head and recreating it in the real world, whether through everyday words or a quick sketch, is the definitive mark of mastery. Honestly, if you can't do that, you haven't really learned it yet, you've just consumed it.
Okay, Section 4, Feedback and Iteration Log, the Detective's Journal.
Let's say you've found your gaps. Now what? Well, it's time to turn into a detective.
By tracking your predictions against what actually happened and noting what you need to do differently next time, you're visually breaking down your own habits. You start to track how you learn best. Is it by drawing, telling stories, making physical connections? You're essentially constantly gathering clues on your own performance, which lets you immediately course correct.
And this grounds our whole detective metaphor in real academic reality. Deliberate practice with feedback is absolutely critical for mastery. Mindless repetition just doesn't work. It's the reflection, that iteration based on the concrete feedback from your logs, that actually builds long-term retention.
Section 5. Just-in-time teacher support. Your navigational compass.
Now, you might be thinking this all sounds like a solo adventure, but the truth is, you're never entirely alone. While you're out there using these tools, your teachers actually have their own super compass. They analyze data from your learning apps and activities to identify your struggles and your strengths in real time. And because they can see exactly where you're getting stuck, they can provide what the framework calls just-in-time support. They offer a helping hand at the exact right moment. This prevents you from getting overly frustrated and ensures your forward momentum keeps going strong.
Finally, Section 6. Your learning adventure. Building habits of achievement.
By combining that 20% core, your mental models, the Feynman checks, and the feedback logs, you create a learning experience that fits you perfectly. Honestly, it's like wearing a custom-made Explorer uniform. This isn't just about passing a test tomorrow. It's about fundamentally transforming how you process information forever. This blueprint empowers you to take charge of your journey. It cultivates real perseverance and builds strong self-regulation. And ultimately, because you have this incredibly specific toolkit, it gives you the absolute confidence to navigate roadblocks whenever you hit them. You aren't just memorizing anymore. You're becoming a highly efficient, smart learner.
Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought to end our explainer on today. How will you design your learning path? The blueprint is right in front of you. The tools are literally in your hands. It is time to stop passively consuming your education and start building your own map. Thank you so much for hanging out with me to explore this incredible framework. Now, get out there, start using these tools, and design an absolutely amazing learning adventure.